Imagine a country where the lines between the government, organized crime, and business are completely blurred, where loyalty to one man outweighs the law, and dissent can get you imprisoned or worse. This is the reality of modern Russia under Vladimir Putin, rising from the chaos of the post-Soviet 1990s. Putin transformed a fragmented, unstable nation into a tightly controlled state where political opponents vanish, wealth is concentrated among a loyal few, and the mechanisms of power operate like a well-oiled criminal enterprise. From co-opting oligarchs to monopolizing key industries, from manipulating elections to silencing journalists, Putin built a system where the state itself functions as a mafia. Loyalty is rewarded with fortune and protection, disobedience punished with fear and elimination. Understanding how this transformation happened isn't just a story of politics, it's a story of power, corruption, and the frightening efficiency of a leader who turned an entire nation into his personal network of influence when Vladimir Putin rose to power in 1999. Russia was a country in chaos, politically fragmented, economically unstable, and struggling with the aftermath of the Soviet collapse. Putin used his background in the KGB to consolidate control over the government and security apparatus. Independent oligarchs who once wielded significant influence were neutralized through arrests, exile, or coerced compliance. Regional governors and local officials were brought under centralized authority, creating a hierarchical system where loyalty to Putin became the ultimate rule. Political parties that posed a threat were either marginalized or banned, and opposition figures faced legal persecution or mysterious deaths, sending a clear message to anyone who dared challenge the regime. By placing trusted former intelligence officers in key positions and controlling the media narrative, Putin effectively eliminated competition while creating a perception of stability. This consolidation wasn't gradual, it was ruthless, efficient, and systematic, allowing him to centralize decision-making and create a tightly controlled power structure resembling a mafia hierarchy, where loyalty is rewarded and dissent punished. Putin's rise was also marked by a strategic takeover of Russia's economy. Key industries such as oil, gas, and defense were brought under state control, ensuring that wealth flowed primarily to a loyal elite. Oligarchs who resisted were prosecuted, exiled, or forced to sell their assets at a fraction of their value, while compliant businessmen were rewarded with monopolies, government contracts, and protection from legal consequences. This created a system of economic dependence where prosperity was directly tied to personal loyalty to Putin. Through this network, wealth became a tool of control. Those within the inner circle gained unprecedented fortunes, while ordinary citizens remained largely excluded from the benefits of the country's natural resources. State-owned companies became instruments of both economic power and political influence, blurring the line between public and private interests. The economy, under Putin, functions as a carefully managed patronage system, where money, contracts, and business opportunities are distributed like favors in a mafia organization, reinforcing the centralization of power and keeping opposition marginalized. In Putin's Russia, the law is not a neutral instrument of justice, it is a weapon used to maintain control. Courts selectively prosecute political opponents while shielding loyalists from scrutiny. High-profile cases against dissenters, journalists, and oligarchs demonstrate how the legal system can be manipulated to intimidate and eliminate threats. Electoral processes are engineered to ensure the ruling party's dominance, creating the illusion of democracy while suppressing meaningful opposition. Regulations and bureaucratic oversight are applied inconsistently, often as a method to punish rivals or reward allies. This selective application of justice creates an environment of fear and uncertainty, where no one can challenge the regime without risking imprisonment, financial ruin, or worse. By using legal and regulatory systems as tools of coercion, Putin reinforces a structure of absolute loyalty, mirroring mafia methods where rules exist only to protect the hierarchy and punish disloyalty. Citizens, business leaders, and regional officials all operate under this system, knowing that survival and prosperity depend entirely on allegiance to the state and ultimately to Putin himself. Violence and intimidation have been central to establishing and maintaining Putin's mafia-like state. Journalists who report on corruption or human rights abuses, political activists, and former insiders who fall out of favor have faced mysterious deaths, imprisonments, or attacks. Protests are often met with heavy-handed policing, mass arrests, or legal harassment, creating a climate of fear. The security services, particularly the FSB, act as enforcers of loyalty, targeting both internal and external threats. Assassinations, disappearances, and extrajudicial measures serve as warnings, ensuring that opponents think twice before challenging the regime. By combining legal persecution with covert operations and state-sanctioned violence, Putin mirrors the tactics of organized crime syndicates, where threats, fear, and punishment enforce obedience. This environment allows the state to operate above the law, with a monopoly on coercion that keeps both the elite and ordinary citizens in line, further solidifying the mafia-like hierarchy that defines modern Russia. At the heart of Putin's system is a mafia-style network of loyalty and patronage. Access to wealth, contracts, and political power depends on personal allegiance. The inner circle, composed of former intelligence officers, oligarchs, and loyal bureaucrats, benefits from preferential treatment and protection, creating a self-reinforcing elite. Regional governors, local officials, and business leaders are co-opted into this network, ensuring that orders from the top are followed without resistance. Those who challenge or fail to comply face career ruin, financial penalties, or more severe consequences. This system extends to foreign business dealings and international influence, where favors, bribes, and coercion are used to maintain strategic advantages. By replacing formal institutions with a personal loyalty network, Putin has effectively merged the state with a criminal enterprise, ensuring that all power and resources flow through him and his trusted allies. This approach has created a stable, yet authoritarian, structure where the state functions like a mafia organization. Loyalty is currency, fear is law, and control is absolute. Vladimir Putin has transformed Russia into a mafia-like state where power, wealth, and fear are inseparably linked. Over 2 decades, he has centralized authority, neutralized rivals, and replaced independent institutions with a system that rewards loyalty and punishes dissent. The legal system is manipulated to target opponents, while compliant oligarchs and officials enjoy protection and vast economic rewards. Violence, intimidation, and even assassinations reinforce obedience, creating a climate of fear across society. Key industries are controlled by the state or trusted allies, turning the economy into a tool for consolidating power rather than serving the public. This hierarchical network mirrors organized crime, where personal allegiance dictates success and survival. Internationally, Russia projects influence through corruption and coercion, extending this mafia model beyond its borders. Putin's Russia demonstrates how authority, when combined with loyalty-based networks and ruthless enforcement, can transform an entire nation into a centralized, authoritarian system that operates above the law.